Hello boys, girls, people, better worlds. My name is... Oh, it's one of those videos. Oh, I hate power scaling. Alright, let's get into it. I mean, what the hell? What do I have this script for? I don't want to be tied into a needless debate over a kid show versus Superman. I mean, I don't know. What the hell is the point of this? I mean, seriously, it's honestly stupid to consider this preteen not even Kid Gohan level. I mean, this child is gonna get smeared across the floor by Omniman. I don't even, like, why are we... I'm gonna fucking prove that Omniman would not even beat goddamn Wordgirl before Bardock. Wordgirl versus Omniman. Who would win? PBS Kids, Woman of Tomorrow, Enemy to Illiteracy, or Image Comics Man of Yesterday, the Conqueror of 1,000 Planets. I wish I had my own narrator so I wouldn't be the one writing this. But hey, if we're allowing ourselves to embrace this scenario, might as well start off with the listing categories we'll go from. Technique, weakness, durability, trump cards, experience, intelligence, and strength. Tallying up the total will allow us to estimate ourselves with how the scenario will play out. The thought of anyone in Invincible beating even a Zuru is the funniest idea ever brought up in the internet ever. Alright, if you're all coming here from there, get out. This video is a mirage, also meaning something that appears real or possible but is not in fact so, to prove Omniman would not be able to beat even a kids show superhero before even scaling to fucking Bardock. Our conditions are settled. We want both of them at their full potential to make this easier for viewers. However, we will be covering how this fight would go from the show Invincible Omniman to the end of Invincible Omniman and comics facing off against end of Wordgirl with all of the seasons. She has some comments of her own, which aren't that important, merely a way for scholastic book fairs to strangle your mother's wallet out of her hands. We want both parties without holding back and fighting to the death. Do not tell me Omniman is above murdering a child, and do not tell me Becky is above ripping off a mustache for the fun of it. Watch out, everyone. For I should have titled this video, Can Omniman Survive a Wordgirl? Hey guys, I would like to remind you that I also have a TikTok, alright, where I post all my daily videos, Instagram where I post all of my art, Tumblr as well, then you can find me both there. You can contact me as well for any questions on further elaborations. I also have my own personal commission forum page. You can put in your own information and you will be included to have your own email in there. Don't worry, it's going to another burner email that will collect your information, but we'll delete it right after the transition is complete. With that being said, please like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Wordgirl. Her name is Betty Botsford. Born from the planet Lexicon. Yes, that is the actual name, I swear to you. Fitcher is a lot easier to accept than reality. Airing on PBS Kids, known to her people of Earth as the Fair City Marvel. Fighting injustices committed against cheese, sandwiches, birthdays. Yes, a formidable opponent capable of sending her enemies into English class once more. It's notable that her accelerated skills in grammar has influenced her residents to pick up something more than entitlement. A buck. Raised in a Botsford household after Captain Huggyface, her pet monkey/kidnapper, realizes holding a child hostage from her home planet filled with superheroes at a young age was enough an offense to not live near a school zone in order to make sure he gets away with his crime and then heads on to solitude by enslaving himself in order to conceal his identity. Yes, he is a grown man and a pet at the same time. It does make sense. But alongside the Botsford family, they raise her with the ambitions of changing the world, one petty crime at a time. All while her powers surge inside of her, it can be argued that she's an adept replica of Superman. Her biology. Her cartoony cast of villains similar to the Kryptonian's Rogues Gallery. even having a weakness of remnants of her own planet. For her, she has no home to come back to on her planet. And this is her planet to educate on their ways. Always willing to make everyone around her correct their mistakes, no matter the cost. In contrast with Omniman, a pinnacle of sheer power within the confines of heroism. It's almost hilarious I think Image Comics has gotten away with such an obvious Vegeta ripoff. But the similarities go deeper than you would think, as his growing heart when 20 sizes that day he let go of the belt weapon he was given to his own son for not allowing genocide. I know, we all get disappointed sometimes too. I don't think I would have to explain the full extent of his character as it grows gradually over the time, further than you would anticipate. But, to put in perspective, he is essentially the Vegeta of the Viltrumite army serving the tyrant Frag. Their entire army eliminating each other in a means of kinship with their own blood, allowing only the strongest to be included by the process of elimination. They are scouted out into the cosmos as a means of changing their people's ways, allowing for total submission under the Viltrumite army. And each possible reality, Mark concedes with his father's wishes in order to complete their conquest across the cosmos. But in one reality, our prime invincible prevails and embodies the spirit of humanity even at the brink of death, allowing Nolan to feel something more than pride, remorse. Allowing for his newfound evolution, becoming the man he could have never been without his son. Though in this scenario, his power derives from the Viltrumite's subconscious ability to control atoms around them, discovered by the one guy killed on an onslaught of military recruitment. Yeah, they didn't think about that, considering they were so strong to do that, allowing them to further enhance their chances in power. They couldn't stop with just their own planet, but had to go out in order to challenge themselves. Surviving the depths of space just by holding their breaths, black holes, suns, planets imploding. From season 1 alone, it showcased that the Viltrumite blood is resistant to various methods of attack and their cells refuse to die. Viltrumites live for thousands of years, capable of long-term spaceflight, strength flight, claimed to have previously deflected a meteor the size of Texas, destroys all of Chicago just by whipping his own son around through trains and construction, beats Invincible in a race despite giving him a head start across the planet itself, even teaching his son to go supersonic, and from the estimations from his own wife, can fly around 4,448 miles in 5 minutes, or Mach 70. And 1v7's the Guardians of the Globe. Basically the Avengers and Justice League if they sucked and didn't suck at the same time. Oh no, they sucked. Their fists are a symbol of what horrors of evolution can conceive into. What the hell is an elementary student capable of that the Viltrum Empire isn't ready? Wordgirl is capable of enhanced senses, in which it can heal people from across the city, self-sustenance, type 1, earth manipulation, breath attack and ice manipulation, non-physical interaction, as in she can sit on clouds as if they were chairs, underwater breathing, breaking the fourth wall and Toon Force, frequently speaks to the narrator, is able to catch on to look on to screen cutaways, underground mobility, sound manipulation, resistance to mind manipulation, extreme cold and cosmic radiation. Her attack potency is almost island level. Her speed is massively faster than light, alright? She stopped a meteor, the same as Omniman. Now, in order to fully elaborate on who would win in this debate, we're gonna go into the list I previously mentioned and tally which one would be given. The first two are gonna go hand in hand, with speed going to Wordgirl. Whereas Wordgirl, in what was essentially of a blink of an eye, went from Earth's moon to the sun's orbit, not even taking into account she goes from the planet Earth more times than Lois Day. If she really wanted to, she would just be able to walk right through Omniman, whilst he was going at his fastest speeds towards her. To further explain, Omniman in the comics after the defeat of Invincible covers 1,560 light years away from Earth in 2 years, for the estimation of the time jump and nearest black hole to our Earth. Now applying the same estimate to Wordgirl's estimations as this distance, she is 500 million times the speed of light, from going 1,083,000 miles a second in a distance of this number from the instant speed between the moon and sun, placing this in an estimated top speed. It would take 1.14 years for her to reach the same distance as Omniman, but even then, this was just a casual bounce from one place to another, just as a means to move something. She is constantly stated to be holding back from the sheer power to build suspense, meaning even this estimation is lackluster to her actual potential. As we move on over to strength, she's always holding back, but being able to enforce the same amount of force in her speed as well, with her theoretical strongest potent force being this number, which is 12 times more than the meteor that killed the dinosaurs, with Omniman's strongest feat being destroying his homeworld Viltrum by punching a hole through it, but this feat is only done with the help of 2 other Viltrumites, so it only contributes 25% of that, and the planet's core, which is weakened, so that's even less of a percentage, and he had to hit the planet at such a specific point that had he not done it right, his entire body would entirely splatter against the surface. So, yeah. If you don't want to take that into accountability as to his strength, the planet Viltrum has a carbon-rich atmosphere and a gravity of 1.25 times that of Earth and twice the size of it. It's noted that Viltrumites have a subconscious idea to the manipulation of atoms, allowing them to fly. Due to their circumstances on their planet, which in the case of Wordgirl will elaborate on how she has more power/potential from her own planet, Lexicon, noting the fact that it lives within its own solar system alongside the planet Hexagon, it's roughly estimated that it is twice the size of Earth as well. Meaning that in the same elaboration, Viltrum and Lexicon can have the same kinds of and radiuses. There are notable differences being the fact that there's a giant star on it, and there are 2 rings orbiting around the planet Lexicon, with the fact that its nearest sun is right beside it, as well as the fact that it shares it with other celestial bodies. It's a lot harsher to live in these conditions than it would be with Viltrum. Moving on to intelligence, Wordgirl or Omniman both, ironically enough, excel in literary technique/grammar, with that being the extent of their knowledge, but with Omniman being way older may hold a greater grasp of concepts she has to grow up to learn in school with, like math or philosophy. So we can argue the fact that it could be Omniman, but Wordgirl can easily learn in a matter of seconds everything he did. With experience, Omniman, 2,000 plus years old with military. Moving on to trump cards, Wordgirl. Due to the fact that she also has the senses of her own narrator and can constantly break the fourth wall, Toon Force, as well as Kid Show Logic, and Birthday Wish Advantage, which changed the fabric of reality in itself, which we can count as just magic in itself, a monkey, and transition breaking. Yes, she can literally break the slide cuts of transitioning when you go from one place to another in TV shows. She can literally break the sequence of events. The unfortunate thing about this matchup is that, despite how much you would want to see a full-grown man kill this child, her existence itself can change the genre to make it so Omniman follows a tight script. And even then, if everything is in place, she can just not listen to it. The only thing holding her back is literally just being in a kid's show. And that's not from a well-done standpoint. She just genuinely could fix everything and escape any possible situation, but actively chooses not to in order to entice audiences. If she really wanted to, the narrator could simply place them in a nice picnic and team up against Dr. Two Brains, who's trying to steal the world's Gouda, not to be confused with his plot last week with fried Gouda. With durability, we might give it a Wordgirl. The extent of her durability has not been tested, but from her light speed feat from going to the moon to the sun, she is right in front of the Earth's star without any strain on her physical body, as well as being able to survive in a vast coldness of the space vacuum, not even needing oxygen to survive or stabilize her body. It's no wonder we can assume she matches on par with his black hole bucket kick. Even then, if this isn't enough, the real similarity we can use to the sun is to Invincible Sun fight at the end of the series with Mark and Frag, which had Mark boiling his skin off, Anakin barbecue style. In terms of weaknesses, and this won't be counted into the tallies, despite the fact that Wordgirl is weak to the remnants of her own planet, we obviously won't take into account Omniman using this. I really don't think he would. And even then, Omniman from the very beginning got his ass jumped by the Guardians of the Globe, who were able of outpacing, outsmarting, and even fighting him just by pure tactics and leadership. It doesn't take a genius to take him down. Playing your cards right is exactly the kind of thing Wordgirl excels at. That is always what she does. It wouldn't even take that much. With technique, Omniman, 2,000 plus years old, honestly. But Wordgirl doing the episode The Rise of Miss Power, which has no elaboration on Omniman itself, don't worry about that. Wordgirl consulted a text from Lexiconian language entitled Super Advanced Secret Battle Moves of the Planet Lexicon. The book itself taught her how to defend herself from the harsh methods of Miss Power, meaning the only difference between the two races is in their pursuit of power between conquest and knowledge. Truly, this matchup is a lot more similar than you would think. Hell, if I was any wiser, I would say there were that parallels of each other's, but I mean, there's no way canonically they would even be in the same possible multiverse, no matter how crazy it seems. Sure, infinite possibilities is possible to explain them being in the same multiverse, but there's no way to canonically imply that Wordgirl herself is parallel to the Invincible Universe without the Viltrumite army interfering with, like, a Marvel character in the comics like Spider-Man, because there were Marvel comics by Wordgirl, but that doesn't make any sense because, you know, there wouldn't be any interaction between a Marvel and Invincible. So then the evolution between the two races were almost identical to the conditions that were identical to the planets themselves, but from the book of Superheroing that explained the tactics in depth from Miss Power's conquest, which in turn is also in relation to Omniman, with these parallels taking into factor, that it would mean their entire race grew upon a foundation of knowledge and managed to conjure the possibilities that Viltrumites couldn't, controlling their own biology with the means of atoms and grammar for some bizarre reason. Meaning that Wordgirl, in theory, is the tail end of what Omniman can possibly become. We have to take into consideration that Nolan doesn't even have any versatile powers besides flying and punching. Wordgirl's external usage of the elements of gases and matter allows for some conscious mastery of her abilities, and that's what we know of without taking into account the book kept that allows her to further evolve her mastery of atoms and matter. She isn't just a force of nature that Omniman is able to comprehend, she is the pinnacle of what he can never accomplish. Realistically, had they fought, he would seek for further knowledge and how to even begin to obtain the power of the strongest hero of today. Clearer than ever that at the mercy of the Marvel of tomorrow, Wordgirl wins by any scenario possible. Even taking into consideration Omniman in the end of Invincible, it would take more than a question as to how much torment she is willing to let happen to her own city, as she would simply break the rules of the script being applied into the fight itself, for heroes have no limits. I hand it off to the audience. In what fashion does the Empire fall in the midst of their most fearsome enemy? Does Becky Wadsworth get to go see her 11th birthday in time while having to fight Nolan? Or will Omniman have to blow out the candles for her after he burns the entire city to a blaze? I would like to hear your ideas, and please would like to be corrected in miscalculations and feats, but if anyone uses Death Battle, I will laugh. Hard. Very, very hard.